Welcome back to the Firehouse for some more Firehouse reasoning. Tonight in the Firehouse, I'm going to be looking at believers and how belief opposes its own self. You know, belief is a negative thing, I say, and whatever is negative always opposes itself. So I'm going to be looking at those who believe in God. Those are the who term themselves religious people, and they believe in God. And then we have the other set of believers who call themselves atheists. So here we have one set of believers who believe in God, and another set who believe that there is no God. You see what I mean? But as far as the truth is concerned here now, both sets, like I say, are believers, and you cannot believe anything and know what is right and correct. You see what I mean? Because those who are believing in God, like I'm saying now, belief is not knowing. And there would be no need for anyone to believe in God if they know God. Like you don't believe in your mom and dad, do you, or your friends, you know them. So what's the point of believing in them once you know them? You believe in God when you do not know God. You see what I mean? But because of this, it's because of the religious man that I say he now breeds the atheists. You see what I mean? Because here you have now, like I say, one man, if we bring them down to a man, one man is believing in God, like I say, and the other one now, the atheist, I say he's believing in the scientists. You know, I reckon the scientist is the atheist champion. They have a champion of atheism. I think he wrote a book called God Delusion. Richard Hawkins, either Hawkins or Dawkins, one of them type of name. Dawkins, Richard Dawkins, yeah, that's the man now. And this book selling its millions, this business about God Delusion. I think it was either last year or the year before. This said individual, they had the atheists, they had some advertisement running on the buses in London, says, I think it was him, it was his quote, saying that there probably is no God. So you see, the atheists are even doubting their own belief. He shouldn't have been saying, atheists should not be saying that there probably is no God. They should say that there is no God, and then provide the evidence for their belief that there is no God. But I reckon that the atheist, right, his belief that there is no God is based upon what he hear the religious man saying. And I don't blame him. You know what I mean? In fact, I grant this to the atheists at least. Well, some of them anyway. They are more of an open mind then. They are not sure. You see? When the believer now, he is convinced by blind faith. So the believer is more boxed in than the atheist, you know what I mean? But the mistake that the atheists get now, if they might end up in a box themselves, is actually because they find out that what the believer is saying about God is bullshit. They end up thinking, well, if what he's saying about God is bullshit, then there is no God. Or maybe he believes, like the believer is telling him that God is a man. You see what I mean? Because the believers actually believe then, in their own ignorance, I say, that God is a man. And that this God is not actually here, but is up somewhere up in beyond the clouds. Don't know where about up there, but very far up. Because this is an infinite universe. But somewhere very far up there in the infinite lies heaven. And up there reside God with certain of his elitist beings, angel and stuff. So because God is so far away, if he had any messages for the earth, he have to send special envoys then, you know. Gabriel and some other great super angel that I hear about. Alright, his son and various other prophets. You see what I mean? This is what the believer is saying then. And obviously the atheists, like I'm saying, has figured out that the believer don't know what he's talking about, which is quite correct. But instead of investigating further, just like how the believer now, I say the believer's shepherd is these prophets then, that they claim that God sent. The atheist prophets now is the scientist that man give him. You see what I mean? So both of them, I say then, not, well, to the truth, both of them are missing the point. You understand what I mean? Because you are not supposed to, well, science is not a bad thing, you know. You know what I mean? But science is a thing that I say is reserved. Physical science anyway, you know, because science is an in and out thing still. You know? Physical science and non-physical science. But the physical outside science, I say it's a field that is reserved for a few then, you know. Because you have to be able to study certain things and go to certain colleges and whatever. You see what I mean? To acquire science. Which is I'm not saying it's a bad knowledge, but it's only a knowledge. It's not wisdom. You see what I mean? And you don't have to be a moral being to be a great scientist, you know, a genius within scientific research then, as it was. You know what I mean? You can be a great scientific master. That has got nothing to do with your morality. And if you are not living moral, it doesn't matter about your scientific achievement. You cannot know the truth. To know the truth, you have to be an internal scientist, because the outer scientists only deal with facts. You see what I mean? So science is an activity where we only deal with facts and reality. You see what I mean? But it's the thing now with the inward science. This is done on the inner, and only those whose eyes are open can understand the inward science. When the facts are presented, you see what I mean? We present the facts in reasoning, you know what I mean? Because a internal, that's what we call the truth. The truth is a science. You see what I mean? But you can only understand this science, like I say, when you live it. You know? Not when you believe anything, you know what I mean? This is not a study. The truth is not a study. You know what I mean? Where you go and you sit at the feet of a particular master, or you study a particular great book, you know, wisdom book or wise book. It's nothing, you know, it's not a study, it's a living. You see what I mean? It's designed for anyone, even if they cannot be scientifically clever or educationally, you know what I mean, even if they never qualify in education. So they're no good at education, they can never be no scientists, and none of the genius that can be achieved when one is knowledgeable then. And knowledge don't only cover education, you know. There is knowledge that people have that you don't have to be educated to know those knowledge. You know what I mean? You wouldn't really have to be educated to know how farming is, you know. You still need a certain knowledge about the atmosphere and things, but you don't have to educate it to learn that, you know. So people have various other knowledge that you can pick up, you know what I mean. But knowledge is not wisdom still, if you know what I mean. And in wisdom now, one don't have to be educated. You see what I mean? Anyone living anywhere, like I say, on the planet, in the bush or in the cities, can learn wisdom. You see what I mean? And when you learn wisdom now, you don't have to believe. Because belief is a doubt. You see what I mean? Both for the people who believe in God and the atheists now who believe that there is no God. You see, like I tell you, their advertisement and the buses in London say there probably is no God. They shouldn't be saying that, man. No atheist should just say, listen, man, there is no God. There is no intelligence within this universe. And prove it, you know, in reasoning that there is no intelligence energy within the universe. When as a man who knows, then it's easy for me to prove that there is intelligence in the universe. Well, if there wasn't, I wouldn't be speaking to you. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. But yes, there is great intelligence right there within yourself. Within the atheists as well, you know. But they're busy looking out, isn't it? Like I tell you before, life is an in and an out. So you can learn outwardly then. Right? Going to college and whoever, from your friends, relatives, you can learn from these people. Whatever their experience or whatever experience was gathered in the world before we arrive. These we designate as knowledge then. You know? Acquired learning, what we can learn from also. So we learn that outside of ourselves. Yeah? But we have internal learning that we can only learn from ourselves. Because there is a teacher within. You see what I mean? But for you to be aware, because we're so focused looking out, it's very difficult for us to be aware of the internal teacher then. You know? So most beings probably live their life looking out and never made any connection to the one that is within. You see what I mean? And anyone who don't make a connection with the one within, you must be a believer or an unbeliever then, what we call atheists, you know, but it's still a form of believer, different, you know. Because like I say, it's all ignorance. Belief itself, like I say, if people believe in Christianity, they don't do so as one. They do so as splintered group. Excuse I have a drink. Maybe there was one like this glass once, but now it fall on the floor and shattered. So now you have many little pieces of splintered then, all claiming to be the true form of Christianity. And that goes for all other religion as well, whether it's Islam or Buddhism, Hinduism, you know. It's not a one body. The people are against themselves. They have to be against themselves because it's ignorance. It is not the truth. The truth could not be against itself like that. You see what I mean? That is just total ignorance, but that's what belief is. You see what I mean? Ain't no way you can have no belief and understand and know what God is. Belief is ignorance. I know the people in religion and those who follow the goddamn ignorance, they would kill to sustain that, and it hurt them when they hear a fire like me telling them. But it is the truth. It's not a lie. It's total fuckery. Ignorance. It's nothing to do with God. It's people who are religious. They are religious because they are not honest. That's you know, or they follow bullshit, or they are cowards. Because some spirit are coward, you know what I mean? So because they don't want to face the truth or the consequences of it. Then, because if you speak the truth, that maybe a lot of your friends fall out with you. Maybe your family throw you out. Maybe your community abandon you. You know what I mean? Maybe so anything can happen, but so a man who is going to speak the real truth have to be a real blood clot rebel, one who don't care what anybody do. Even if you murder me or kill me, so what? All if my whole family abandon me, I don't care. Because the truth is more, what we say, more relevant. You know? So maybe people don't break away from the groups because of all these various different reasons. Maybe they feel safety in numbers then. Or in false unity, you know. When groups get together, they think that they're united, you know. But they are not united, you know. They get together as a group because they are cowards. And they can't face the truth. Souls like them could never enter Firehouse. Firehouse, like I repeat again when I say Firehouse. You see the sun outside, that would represent Firehouse in the outer world. It gives light to the earth and it gives light to all. Inside, internally, in our psyche, is that same sun that we can call it conscience, or I call it Rastafari, you know. But that is the giver of the light within, you know. You see how the sun is hot outside? Well, so is the light of the internal one. So that's why we call it Firehouse. You see what I mean? Now to enter Firehouse where the fire is hot, no, you can't be any little cowardly group. You see what I mean? You've been given, like I say, faculties, what we call a mind then, to think for ourselves, or if you want to relate it to the physical brain, you know, rather than the spiritual mind then. But we've been given the faculties then to think for ourselves and understand. Because the energies that you are calling God then could not put us here without the ability to understand, expecting us to understand what is going on here. You see what I mean? So all souls, if they wasn't born with an impure mind then, which they would be excluded from the test of life then. You see what I mean? But all who have a fit mind, yeah, you can think. And you know the difference between right and wrong. You see what I mean? No one is, like I say, after you reach a certain age, is ignorant to what is right and what is correct. And if they are doing right or if they are not doing right. You know what I mean? But it's, I find that in this world then, as an example, people have a tendency to do things and hide it from each other, you know, like the friends and relatives are hide from the partner, the cheating and the lying, whatever they're doing. But what is the point of doing these negative things, hiding it from your fellow man? Your fellow man is not God, is it? Not the internal energy. You see what I mean? Unless that's what I mean. So you can't be aware fully then that there is an energy that exists that we call God then. You see what I mean? So even when if I come along as a fire and tell you then that, don't you notice that conscience is in all? All who claim to be black and white, all are male, are blood clad female. Now would you like to figure, I try and understand what that is? What could be in all human beings? What could be in human beings, like I say in World War II, when I wasn't even born yet, but come to read about, where I hear that men refuse to carry out orders and was executed because they says the conscience won't allow them to carry out these orders. And these men must have had families, maybe some of them had wife and children. You see, yet they refuse to carry out the orders given to them. And when they say, if you don't do it, we're going to out you out, they say, well, do it. So what was this conscience then? You see what I mean? And it's still here today. And it was in the time that gone before and the time that shall come. So what kind of energy is that can be in everyone at once, instantly? How come everyone has got a memory? You don't investigate these things. You see what I mean? But you're not going to find out certain things, like I say, if you are focusing on the out. You see what I mean? Paying attention to, like I say, the prophets that God sent, or they tell you that God sent, or just putting your trust in the scientists that men educate them. You know? And they tell you that, oh yes, this is just a big bang. Whatever it is that they tell you, and that there is no intelligence. But you ain't going to find out whether if there's any intelligence or not until you learn how to live honest. Because honest living is a teacher. You see what I mean? And unless you live honestly, you won't be able to understand certain things. You see what I mean? And when you don't understand these things now, you end up, like I tell you, believing. I don't know how many times in reason I've said that I bet my soul that I'll believe as a wrong. You know? I are ignorant. They will bet my soul again and again and again that every single believer or every single organized religion is a load of bullshit. Anything that any one of them say about God sending either his son or any prophet is just pure fuckery. You see what I mean? God don't send no prophet. God don't need to send no fucking prophet. You are here in life to make a choice. In fact, I just say you are here to know God. You know, don't bother wait till you're dead and you think in some imaginary heaven you're going to meet God. You encounter God here. But it's a matter of choice, because you have the freedom to choose. Yeah, we are here in the choosing ground, yeah? If you choose to live honestly, like I'm telling you, you will encounter the God within you. Your own conscience will be your guide, the light that is within, the one that gives light to the mind. That one will teach you understanding. You see what I mean? No one else can do it. None of these books that they are about. And to even, like I tell you, understand the book then, whether it's the Quran or the Bible, you have to first know yourself first before you go and read it. Then you might be able to grasp the true meaning of it. But to ever try and read it and go on about it without you knowing yourself, you are going to get lost in a maze. You understand? It's like a garden, I say, that God planted. But God knows that some people was criminals, so he set traps in it for those who enter the garden without permission then, or without a clean intention. They get caught in these traps that are laid out in these so-called holy books. You see what I mean? To enter those gardens, you need a light. And the light is the light of thy conscience. So when you read the light, your own conscience will show you what is right and what is correct. You see what I mean? But without reading these so-called holy books, without the light, will only bring you into further and further darkness. You know what I mean? If you can read. That is. Because like I say, reading is not necessary. Because it's not every soul who is enlightened that can read. Because you don't need to read. You see what I mean? But most of the people who are reading, they are reading, but they are still blind. You see what I mean? Because they are reading when they are not clean. You see what I mean? It's like say sometimes people like say Muslim go to prayer and they have to they wash and they clean the body then. See? Yeah, it's that is a reflection of what should be done then. You see what I mean? Because when you're going to read now, you see what I mean? Internally, you have to be clean. Thy mind have to be clean. No hate, no greed, no lust, jealousy. You know? Otherwise, if you read, with those things in your mind. You can't understand the truth because that mind is dirty. So before you read then, you know, you have to make sure you're clean. You know, not bodily, you know, mentally. You know, well, it's natural you keep your body clean still. But don't bother think it's only the body that must be clean before one can do certain things. Because if the intention is not clean, like I tell you, whatever you read, whatever you say is just, like I tell you, corrupted. You see what I mean? So you can tell that I am the outward form, like I say, because everything in life is an in and an out. The outward organized form of religion is corrupted. The inner form, religion, innit? What is religion? Is to, like we say, reveal God then, or reveal the truth. The outer form is concealing it. When you live honest, you reveal it. So wisdom reveal and one conceal. You see what I mean? So they are concealing the truth. You know? Conning people. Converting them, you know? But all is a con. You see what I mean? If they was religious from the end, like living good, they will be revealing the truth to people. You see what I mean? They wouldn't be looking at donation differently and building a building and making temples and altars and performing stupid ritual. You know what I mean? Because there is no need, if one knows the truth, there is no need to perform any ritual. Because ritual cannot make you know the truth, you know what I mean? The only thing that make you know and understand the truth is you ceasing your negative activities, you know what I mean? Doing your best to cut them out. Just like you would go in a garden and weed out the weeds that is within the garden. Only those actions make you understand and know. Nothing else. Prayer can't do it. You know, if you pray to God every day, but while you're praying to God, you still lying or thief. I don't know, a blood clot here. You cheat on your wife and all them things there. Your wife a cheat on you. That is no good. That prayer can't help you, you know. Go to church and do whatever. Because nothing can work. Or if God was a man like you believe who could listen then. Well, you can bring, because Jah is in everyone, you know. But your prayer, God would be deaf to your prayer. Don't hear nothing what you say. Why? Because of your action. Because I tell you, God will not deal with you until you clean up your action. The mind of any human being, no light can enter that until they clean up that mind. No mind can reflect the light of God until that mind itself decide to change and clean up its negative ways. You see what I mean? And God cannot clean no mind, or will not clean no mind. Because the choice to do such matters is not with God. It is with us. We are the one with the freedom of choice. You see what I mean? It was not the action of God or the devil that corrupt and dirty up our mind. But it was our own choice that we choose to do. You know? Maybe I wouldn't say maybe we do it willingly, but you know, due to how the world is negative and we was brought up in it then, we was convinced that these things was right at a certain time in our life then. So, you know, and so we add to this then and help contaminate up our mind, our own action. Nobody else's action when we're ready to accept the truth. When we are ready to accept the truth like that now, that it is our own action that is corrupting our mind then, and we are willing to change. This is like I tell you, cleaning up the mind, you know. When the mind is clean, the light of the one start to enter. And once the light start to enter, you know, well, it just You know, it's just progress and progress until the mind can reflect the light of that one. You see what I mean? And just like those soldiers, like I tell you in World War I, now you will die for the one, innit? You see what I mean? You wouldn't be afraid of the 1 minute there. You wouldn't be afraid of all the beings that are living on earth or maybe the rest in the universe. You see what I mean? Once you know the truth, why would you want to be afraid of them? Because what could they do against the truth? Nothing, you see what I mean? The only thing they could do is, like I say, act like cowards and attack you here physically. But life is eternal anyway and the spirit cannot die. And like I tell you, all human beings have a memory within them. Can't get away with your action, I'm afraid, you know. Because there's rules and laws within this universe then. You see what I mean? It's like, say, these people that are governing earth now, these negative beings, I say. Real, because negativity control the planet. Real evil and thing that they are performing against their fellow human beings. And a lot of them are in high position. No one will be able to, what they would call here, prosecute them. You see what I mean? But all these souls, wherever they are, whoever they are, memories within them recording their deeds, their action, their intention, their desires. You see what I mean? What they contribute to life here, you know what I mean? Why would memory be doing that? Unless memory must be stupid, I say. Unless memory, because if memory was a man, memory would have think, well, why record them? Because when they're dead, that will be the end of that. But memory realized that no, they're not going to die, man. Just the body. These are going on. And there you shall pay for the things that you do here. Because even today I was watching the television, you know. And there was some people speaking about Israel. They're trying to boycott some food from Israel. And there was people on the panel there supporting Israel and saying, no, it's a democratic country, you know. And what they're doing is okay and everything. I'm thinking these people should go there and live as Palestinian. And then report back how democratic. But look how far they are away from Israel. Why give your support to it? You know? This is what I say. You reach in when death come for you. Remember that you were supporting an oppressive system on earth, you know. You will get a reward on the other side for supporting something that is not right and correct. From the little bit what anyone can see on the news, anyone can see that Israel is an apartheid state. They just finish, like I said, murder about 2,500 Palestinians and flatten about 40,000 homes, which they're not even allowing the Palestinians to build back anyway, and keep them like virtual prisoners. You'll never hear anyone call for Netanyahu to be prosecuted for crimes against humanity, but they'll be crying about Assad and so forth and so forth. No, these people are not genuine. They are not they will never deal with justice. But justice is going to catch up to them, you know what I mean? Because life is only for a little while. In case you don't you realize it. Those of you who are patriotic, yeah? And you are very proud of your country. And you believe again. It's always believe, you know. Believe make you patriotic and make you believe that whatever you want to believe about your country. But you see this place that you call your country, it was here before you was born. And you see when Mr. Death come and fuck you up, it will still be here. Yes, and Mr. Death must fuck you up as well. And this land that you claim is your country, you can't take it anywhere, you know. Just like you cannot remove anything that you come here and see that you claim is yours. While breath was moving through your nostril and your heart was beating, You claim that this piece of land was yours. This amount of diamond and this amount of blood clot, gold and all kind of fuckery you claim was yours. But I noticed that when they fuck you up now, I never see you removing any of these things that you thought all your life was yours. You know? You know. So you don't own anything here. But this is what I mean now. Because of belief and non-belief, which is the atheism way that people live then. You know? Because they have these ideas, they create the world, the world that we create, you know what I mean? They actually believe now that you can control the earth then, you know? Dominate the earth. So it never dawn on them that no, don't bend down on earth. Earth is not your home. So don't be bedding down, you know what I mean? You are more in like what we would call in transit. You are passing through. Now imagine if you are passing through a territory. Why the fuck do you want to own this territory? You're supposed to pass through, you know? But no, these idiots want to own and possess, you know? And dominate and control. How can you do that to a place that you are only passing through? It's not yours, you know. It was there before, but you're on a journey then, yeah? And you've been granted permission to pass through. Okay, we have lots of nice fruits here and, you know, earth produce lots of things. Why you don't enjoy the nice fruits of the earth and you know, and then pass through? Why are you fighting and killing and wanting to dominate and own and control something that is not yours? You see what I mean? But like I say, when one is not under the guidance then of one's own conscience, anything can happen. You see what I mean? Because you can be totally lost in darkness because you won't have any light. Neither the believer nor the atheist have light. They can both access light, but they will have to change their ways then, if you know what I mean. And refocus their attention onto their own self and check out exactly what it is that they are doing in life and how they're doing and make correction in their own being. You see what I mean? Each individual soul must make correction. So it means that each of us must examine how we live with our fellow human being. That's if you're serious, you know. Only serious people do these things. But when you get serious now, you do that honestly. And then when you realize that you're not. As an example, say you was a racist then. You don't like black people. No, say you don't like black people. You don't like white people, as an example. Why you don't like white people? You feel to yourself that white people put black people into slavery. So on those grounds, you are now hating white people then. So you have that grudge in yourself now. Now I'm saying, while you have this grudge, because of what you believe white people did to black people, you cannot know the truth. You see what I mean? This anger, this hate that you have for these white people who enslave black people now is going to blind you. So what you need to do, you need to examine that what you held, if it's true. And if you examine now, if that was true, what you would actually find, you could probably find, says, as an example, yes, some white people did. But not all white people could have done so. Why? Because some of them was very poor anyway. They had their own problems. You know? They was under sufferation. In those times of slavery, these people could not even vote here in England or anywhere around Europe. they was under control by the kings and queens and barons and stuff. You see what I mean? So to feel that every white people in say black people is just a stupidity then, you see. So when you re-examine yourself and you see this, you get rid of those idiotic ideas. You know, because you are now, but now you can actually, you'll be able to see that, okay, maybe a few white people did enslave blacks and, you know, and maybe some blacks on the other side who wanted to get rid of some black, sell some as well. You know what I mean? But you deal with the truth, so you can't end up hating a group of people, you see what I mean? And then eventually, like I say, the more you clean yourself, the more it will reveal to you that the very idea that there is black and white people is the idea of the atheist and the believer. No doubt is what a scientist that come up with the theory of race, don't you think? I don't know, because I don't study those things, but I would presume, can correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be some mad scientists, the very scientists them that atheists believe in, that come up with the ridiculous idea of race. You see what I mean? When you know the truth, you will realize that there can be no such thing as race. We are spirit living in a body, physical. We are physical and non-physical. Our body is physical and our spirit is non-physical. Our bodies have different colors, black and white and, you know, brown and yellow and that. But the spirit that is within the body have no color. You understand? So when you go and ask anybody, ask a Chinaman what color his mind is, him don't know. You know what I mean? So there is no black and white people, just black and white body. We are all one. You understand? But you're not going to know that we're one if your mind is filled up of hate and greed and lust and, you know, you see what I mean? Those things render the soul blinded. You know? And God will not enter us while we are living like that. And God is understanding, you know. I say God is not a man. God is the light within thy own conscience. It is ready to guide you. But it cannot guide you if you are, because you've got your own free choice, you know. You can always tell conscience to fuck off when conscience tell you not to steal or not to lie, not to hate, which is constantly reminding you not to do these things, and you constantly ignore it to go and follow like do your own thing. Or follow prophets and saints like I tell you. You see what I mean? Or go and steal and lie or cheat on your partner. But your own conscience was telling you then, before you carry out those actions, that listen, what you're doing is wrong, but you're not listening. You don't want to know. So how if you don't want to know, how are you going to learn? Because you're not listening to your own self, you listen to those outside of yourself, everything that they tell you. Yeah, man, yeah, man, man. And you run along. If they tell you to pray 10 times a day, you do it. They tell you to fast every day. Anything that they tell you to do, that they tell you will bring you closer to God, you go and do that. But you ignore what your conscience is telling you. See what I mean? But what I do now to learn internally, I ignore anything that they say out there and listen to what my own conscience says. You see what I mean? Even if there was a trillion, billion people on earth, I would ignore the trillion, billion of them and listen to what my conscience says. You see what I mean? I'm interested in them and what they say. Now if I wanted to learn, like I say, build a house, I listen to them. I learn certain knowledge that I don't possess. If I wish to, I listen to them because they know knowledge, they have good knowledge. Can teach you how to do a lot of things. But I am not seeking knowledge from them. I'm seeking wisdom, and they haven't got it because it's in me. So I learn it in me. You know what I mean? That's where it is. The wisdom that you seek or you should understand is within thyself. You see what I mean? It's not a thing that you can go and learn in college. You know? No, it's a thing that you have to live. And you can only learn it if you live it then. That's the rules of it, you know. I never make the rules of it, you know. That's just how it is. That any soul that ever come out a woman before, if that soul was know the truth, they only know it because they live or they strive to live on this. Because if you don't strive to live on this, you can't know the one. Simply. There is no other way around. There is no other way of anyone knowing what they call God. Apart from just one way. You must cease from doing what is wrong. And now try to do what is right and correct. And live that way. Irrespective of what your mother, your brother, or your sister say, you know. Living or ghost or anything. That's the only way you're going to know the truth. You can't none of those people who join outer form of religion know the truth. Because the outer form of religion is leading you into ignorance. Because like I tell you, they are telling you about prophet and a bumbleclad prophet never said yet. That's just ignorance, isn't it? You see what I mean? It's like I tell you, the outer form of religion is just like how, say, I am sitting here. You know, it plays a part, but it's not the real thing. It's like my body. Yeah, my body and me. My body is not the real. The real is inside. To understand me, you really have to get past the body. But it's the same thing with religion. The truth is within it, but you have to get past the outer form. The organized part, you know. You have to remove that like how you remove the skin of a fruit to get to the juice, or remove the shell from a coconut. You see what I mean? Because it is containing the truth, but it is not the truth then, if you know what I mean. So you must remove the visible part, and the visible part of the truth, what we call the truth, is the outer form of religion. You see what I mean? The outer form of religion is concealing the truth. So to get to the truth, one must remove the outer form. You see what I mean? Maybe it might be hard for, well, it won't be hard for anyone to grasp once they are striving to live honestly, you know what I mean? Because when any being is striving to live honestly themselves, they have the light, you know. It's not a the light is not a private thing. So if anyone is striving and I'm speaking, they understand clearly what I'm talking about, because it's no big deal. It's not a private thing, you know what I mean? It's a thing for all, innit? That is why I say God make it so simple then. Yeah, well, it was God, you know, the higher intelligence that make everything simple. You see what I mean? Well, it never made, I would say, knowledge is not a simple thing. Knowledge can be difficult, you know. Some people cannot learn certain knowledge, you know. Look at all the great knowledge about us, man in space, you know, computer and that. Very few brains could have developed these things, understand these knowledge. You see what I mean? Selective then, you know. But where wisdom is concerned, there is no selectivity going on. Because anyone at all who chooses to live on this, learn that, you know. There's nothing special about that. Just a simple, you living on this, you know. When, if you learn certain knowledge, you have to pass X amount of tests then. I said, boy, I fail on mathematics or fail on something, you know, some other business. But in wisdom, no, you can't fail on nothing if you live honestly. Because you just that, innit? Whether you're knowledgeable or not, if you live honestly, you become wise. That's what I mean. Well, if you're knowledgeable as well, even better. Because your wisdom now will direct your knowledge in a positive way then. Rather than just knowledge directing you. You see what I mean? So it coming back now to this, like I'm telling you, the belief in God. We have to let go of belief. Just like how the atheists have to like I say, let go of atheism as well either. Where they might believe that there is no intelligence in life. That the word God is trying to indicate. Because a word is never a thing anyway. You know, cause we could be arguing about, oh, is there such a thing as, that's just a word. You know? But the word always describes something. Now the word that this word God is describing, it's describing a higher energy. And we don't have to go up into no heaven to find this higher energy. We can find it here in ourselves. We use a word that call it conscience. This is in every human being, you know. Male and female alike. But it is not a male and it is not a female. You know what I mean? Like I say, I explain it to you. It's more like the outer sun that give light to the whole earth. So the internal sun give light to the whole psyches of being, you know. And all of us can choose to be guided by this conscience if we so desire. But it ain't going to choose us because it can't. Because it is not the one with the choice. But we can choose it. And if we choose it, it will teach us. You see what I mean? Now once this one is teaching us, we don't talk anything about any belief. We teach what we know. And we know that anything that we are teaching that we know, no believer can dispute it either. Well, they can, but not logically. You see what I mean? Because the believer's reason is not logical anyway. It's based on faith. Blind faith. You see what I mean? We are not talking here of any blind faith. We are talking here of you taking responsibility for your own action and changing your negative ways so that you, like I said, the light can enter you and you can see the truth for yourself so that you can help your fellow human being. You see what I mean? But it's not a matter of, like I said, lighting up two candles here and playing two organ and nothing like that. That ain't going to help anyone understand, you know. You cannot understand God when you talk about Jesus and you believe in Jesus, because that is just madness. God hasn't got any son or any daughter. If God got sons, the whole of we are sons of God and daughter of God. I ain't got no special fucking son called Jesus. How could that be? Well, this God must be fucking stupid, I would say. Here as an example, you have all these people worshipping God, yeah? Let's say we have the Christian. God send them Jesus, born of a blood clot virgin, and give them the Bible. Then him send the Muslim the Quran and give them Muhammad. But the Bible and the Quran is not saying the same fucking thing, is it? They bring two different messages. You know? Because now the people are in, I say, well, my message is better. So what kind of fucking God is this now? Is he trying to confuse people by revealing two different holy books, sending one son to this one and prophet to the next one, you know? And there's a third party one day, the Jew. Him have enough prophets sent to him as well as God, you know? But all these things are just the idea of the believers, not anyone who know God. You know? The minute you know God then for yourself, you know that why the fuck would God this? What fucking prophet? To do what? Prophesy what? You know, God create you and God give you a mind, the ability to understand what is wrong and right, and give you the freedom to choose. God cannot tell you what to fucking choose and how to do it. And God cannot send anyone to tell you what to choose. Why you got your own fucking mind? You know the difference between right and wrong. Go ahead and make your choice. You come on earth here finding more man at table. Oh, God send this man. Send him to do what? To tell people what? Oh yeah, if God send or if God tell us what to do. Like if God create me, and give me the freedom of choice, as an example. And then after that, give me the and said, all right, I mean if you do me, I don't know. And then God come giving me 10 commandments, say, watch you know. Don't go in that bush. Yeah? Don't eat from that tree. And don't where is the freedom of choice in that? That's negating my freedom of choice. Now you are telling me what to do. I thought you put me here and said I must decide what I want to do. So if I'm deciding what I want to do, how the fuck can you be telling me what to do? Are you sending your only son? Are you sending prophets to tell me what to do? That doesn't make any sense. And God can't be that stupid. No, but these believers, though, it makes sense to them. No, but when you know, that doesn't make it. That's just ignorance and stupidity. God could not have given any commandments, and God cannot send any prophets either, and neither God himself can tell us what to do. But God knows what to do, though. But if we choose now for God to teach us, say, well, God can tell us, guide us then. But until the time comes when we willingly choose for God to teach us, God cannot tell us nothing about we mustn't do this and we mustn't do that. We must know that we must not do this and that. And then when we know that and don't do it, then we're ready for God to teach us then. Hey, God will teach us then. But before that, God is not coming in until thou art clean, as I say. You know? When we get ready, get ourselves ready, that's when God enter. But if we don't get ourselves ready, God is not entering. And God cannot give any orders or send any emissaries to come and tell us that we shouldn't do whatever it is that we are choosing to do. Because whatever it is we are choosing to do, we have the right to do it, good or bad. We couldn't have done it if we never have the freedom of choice. You see what I mean? But that means because we have the freedom of choice, we must take responsibility. And this is what few is willing to do. Few beings are willing to take responsibility for their own action. See, they rather what they call pass the buck. You know what I mean? Follow the crowd and say to themselves that we will be forgiven by God. God is merciful. You know? So overlook. But if you want forgiveness for the wrongs that you do, because we've all done wrongs, just make correction. Because once you make correction to yourself and your wrongdoing, the wrongs that you did in the past, you will never repeat them again. You don't understand? So that is proper forgiveness. Forgiveness is when we change ourselves. It's like if we used to kill 100 people a day then, as an example. And we should change our ways, realize this is wrong and stop it. We'll never kill anyone again as long as we live in creation. Unless somebody willfully attack us, you know, we have a right to dust them. But I mean, willfully kill, we'll not do that again. Why? Because we make correction. Things only work when we make correction. And like I said, those who don't make the correction, you know, cannot know God. See, you end up as a believer or an atheist. But like I said, if I had to choose one of the camps to be in, because I would be in the atheist camp, I say, because I reckon it's a bit easier to escape there. You know? Yeah, a lot of atheists are not really set. Like how somebody who is a believer and have faith, you know? The atheist is more like doubting Thomas. You know what I mean? But one should, like I say, the whole idea of this reason is to explain to one that we should shift from belief. Whatever the belief is, whether it's a belief in God or whether we don't believe in God, we must examine belief for what it is and see that belief is a negative. And that belief, just like how I'm saying that atheists and believers, both of them are believers, but they fight against each other. But if you come amongst believers now, they are fighting against each other. No doubt atheists fight against atheists in whatever form as well. They don't all agree with each other. You see, but it's because they're all negative. So you'll never find a unity within negativity then. In whatever form you find negativity in, it's a thing that breeds division and separation. You see what I mean? So those who hold on to these beliefs, that's what they do. Say as an example, then you're all, and they're so crazy that they think that they're following God's will. The Muslim do, the Christian do, the Buddhist do, the Hindu, but they don't come together as one, separately. And in there living separate, war and killing and crime is going on in between. Now who is causing it? It's human being. It's coming up. The state of the world reflects the state of these negative soul minds. You see what I mean? It's what's in them that has come out into the world. So they've created a negative dark, not a bright and, This very world they shall inherit when death come for them and remove them all from here. Because that is the end of our journey here, Mr. Death, come calling. Doesn't matter how long you go on, you must give up the ghost. You see what I mean? But what I'm pleading to my fellow human being, before you give up the ghost, it would be good if you make correction. If you know what I mean. I know some of you are far gone, you won't be able to make correction. You will have to reap what you sow on the other side. Especially those who love power here. They love power. You go and reap power on the next side over there. Because, life, like I say, is a paradoxical and a tricky thing. And when you think, my friend, this was the end of it, no, it was the beginning of it. You see what I mean? Because you ain't getting away with nothing. Just like how you have video cameras and drones making video of people all around the world and being able to watch them and see what they're doing. So you too are being video from within by the internal video that we call memory. And not all of your action are recorded. Well, here what now? I and I been rapping for a long time, see? About the division within the craziness of belief, you know what I mean, between the believers and the atheists, and how the believers are segregated, and you know what I mean. But you like I said, no one can grasp these things really until you learn to be honest to yourself. You must learn to clean your own self up first. Check your own dirty deeds and tidy up. When we tidy up, this is what opens up our eyes to a higher understanding, because we all have the internal eyes. It is our own action that keep them closed. Anyway, like I say, I and I is going to reel out, fade out and fire out from the firehouse. Sema Rastafari. Fire!